So hi guys, in this video we're going to be exploring how to rearrange different formulae in maths, and also this could be applicable to physics, because sometimes you might be given the value of several different variables in physics, but you don't know one variable and you have to find the value of that. For that, you need to be able to rearrange formulae to isolate that variable. Additionally, this concept could be applicable in the functions unit when you have to find the inverse of a function, and that would rearrange the equation to make it in terms of x instead of y. So let's just start with some basic equations. So let's say we have the equation a equals pi r squared. I'm sure you guys have recognized that this is the area of a circle equation. So in order to isolate r, let's say we want to find what r is, and we're given the area, and obviously pi is 3.14 and etc. So we first have to try and isolate r. To do that, we could first divide everything by pi, which would give a over pi, and then obviously take away the pi on this side to give r squared, and then we'd have to square root everything to give r equals root a over pi. Obviously, this is a much easier example of how to rearrange formulae, and there are definitely other harder ones out there. So let's go on to a little bit of a harder one, but not so much that's like unbearable. So let's have the one for kinetic energy, which is Ke equals half mv squared. And let's say we need to find v. So what we'd first do is multiply everything by 2 to get 2Ke equals mv squared and get rid of the half sign. Then we would divide everything by m to give 2Ke over m equals v squared, and then we square root everything to give v equals root 2Ke over m. So this is helpful if we want to find the velocity when we are given the kinetic energy and mass of an object. So I've just written here one final example of a problem we're going to attempt. This is probably going to be the hardest thing that you're going to get in the exam. Well, not the hardest thing, but like the hardest rearranging equation that you might get, because it has the variable a, which we're trying to isolate on the numerator and denominator of the equation. So obviously we want to try and get b on the other side and then isolate a on one side. So the way I would do this is first I'd take out the denominator, multiply everything by 4 minus 3a, which would give us b times 4 minus 3a, which was equal to 2a plus 3, because now it doesn't have the denominator, which is 4b minus 3ab equals 2a plus 3. Now I'll move all the variables that have the values that have the variable a in it to one side, and then leave the others on the other side. So we can see that these two values here are values that contain a, while these ones do not. So we can write this as negative 3ab minus 2a, because we bring this to that side, and then we bring this one to this side by subtracting, so it becomes equals 3 minus 4b. And now what's interesting about this is you can factor out the a to give a negative 3b minus 2 equals 3 minus 4b. And what's really easy now is we can just divide it by negative 3b minus 2 to give it in the denominator, which would give us a equals 3 minus 4b over negative 3b minus 2. Okay, so let's recap. So overall, with this problem, and this problem, you may just want to like use your intuition, which would require you to just try and isolate the one like component. In this case it's this, in this case this, and in this case this, that contains a variable you want to isolate, and that will allow you to isolate it. But in this equation, when they're on two sides, which is here and here, you could just do the method that I proposed, which would be multiply the denominator by multiply everything by the denominator of this one, and then multiply out the brackets, then isolate one side with the variable. So if it doesn't have the variable a, then put it on the other side, and if it does, then put it on one side. And then you get this, which can then easily factor out the a, and then you divide it by the remainder, which would be this, to give your final answer. So yeah, this concept is definitely one of the easier concepts, but it's still worth going over, especially with a problem like this one. So anyway, thank you for watching, and hopefully it was easy to understand. If you want me to tackle another concept, do let me know in the comments below.